Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Hey, what's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday. This your girl, Jenny June, New York's most felt earth angel. What's up? How is everyone doing? I only wish you well. So today I'm going to do something different, a little more structured, as I promised. I only believe in creating my reels and content naturally, organically, when I'm feeling the nudge or push by highest to create. And it's all fluid, baby. But today, I decided to blueprint or write down, because I've been hearing this word a lot lately. Boundaries. 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 Boundaries? Yes, boundaries. I've been hearing it a lot lately. Reading it a lot, seeing it a lot, coming across it a lot. And as you all know, this earth angel loves to read as she flows. I read on everything, as it comes, as it goes. As above, so below. Within, without. As you know. If you don't know, now you know. Okay, sorry. You know me. I have a lot of energy. I've been preserving, doing so well for myself. But yes, before I go on rambling in, excuse the noise in the background. It's my loud motherboard. My desktop, it's loud. I need to replace it. But anyway, today's topic, boundaries. So, what is boundaries to me? Boundaries is setting strategic methods in protecting my energy, or limiting self from particular situations. Yes, this is my analyzation of boundaries. Especially this past year, I exemplified in the best way of utilizing the strategies and methods in creating my boundaries. Why did I set my boundaries? Why did I set boundaries for myself? As I was saying, this past year I have applied boundaries to a T. I had to simplify. I pulled myself out of a 6-year drug addiction, and in those dark days, I made friends with similar interests. A lot of friendships were made, but I no longer wanted to swim with them. I jumped out of the pool and kept walking further away. So far, I drove myself across the country to initiate my deepest dive into spirituality and remembering who I was. So as you notice, for today's topic, boundaries, I asked myself a few questions and I answered them. This answer is under why I set these boundaries for myself this past year. And again, it was because of my 6-year drug addiction that I am so grateful to have pulled my damn self out of. Blessings to the being I am, was, then, now, and forever shall be. So yeah, my journey began about 1.5 years ago. Pulling myself out of the 6-year drug addiction and out of those dark days. And disconnecting from these friends with similar interests. I deleted and I blocked all these connections. It was 1, 2, 3 for me, because what I solidified on was deciding that the drug no longer served me, and I didn't enjoy feeling the way I was feeling when I was getting high, you know, especially on this particular substance I was abusing. I know, I know you want to know, but when I feel like it. So behave. So yeah, those friends with similar interests I disconnected from. Hard body. I threw a 180 on them and just started blocking left and right. Of course, it narrowed it down to 2 connections that were the hardest to remove because they were the closest to me, yet they were friends of similar interests. I knew the answer was to disengage from these last 2 open cords. These 2 last beings that no longer served my pivot in life or my desires in life. And yes, this is my very first time recording myself sharing such vulnerable information. But I'm doing it. So thank you for being patient with me and tuning in for whatever seeds I plant today in this message. It may be for you, it may not be for you. But thank you again for tuning in. But yeah, so getting back to the story. It lingered down to 2 people that it did take some time to release from. But when I chose to take that solo trip and drive across country, I knew it was the 2 weeks and a half I took this trip. It was in June of 2024, and I got a rental car, drove across the country, and began my journey of letting go of everything that no longer served me. Still friends with those 2 lingering connections, but I definitely drew myself and my energy in on this trip and disregarding engaging in steady conversation with anybody. I learned to decrease my communication or engaging with anybody on a deeper level because I knew my main goal here was to focus solely on setting my boundary. So those were all methods I had applied in setting boundaries. Was less conversation, pivoting and moving and planning that solo trip that took me away from all the familiar places and things I've been in those dark days. And so diving in, when I got back from this trip, as the trip was closing out, and I had traveled all the way to Colorado from New York. We'll pause for 1 second. You know, even in the darkest of our days, we meet different kind of people, right? So I still knew people that were not of the similar interests that I was going through back in the dark days. And that was a part of my pivot and setting up boundaries was when I got back from the trip, I had a choice. Either to sit and linger with these 2 buttheads that were part of the dark days that I wanted to cap already, or dive into new friendships that were not of the darkest dark similar interests, and which would be diving into an unknown and creating a connection from there. So yeah, there was this one friend I knew. He was a local person, and gratefully that grew into something so much more special than I expected it to. But yeah, I pivoted. When I got back from that trip, I pivoted and dove into an unknown connection, knowing that the connection was already fresh and well because, yeah, this new connection was not about the dark days. So I eventually did block the last 2 open cords of the darkest of my days. I didn't even leave explanation or create any closures with the last two because they were the closest, but they were also the closest to my corruption of those darkest days. So I give peace and pray for them, but I no longer communicate or engage. Moving forward, I am grateful that I dove into this completely unknown connection, because today he is my divine union, my loving partner, my significant other that has only helped me solidify and foundate a new adventure of my own. It's also an unfamiliar relationship. Yes, we fell in love, and I fell in love, and I thought I was gonna cap love. But anyway, falling far from the topic now. I knew that I needed to be stimulated by difference. I knew engaging in a connection unknown from the familiar darkness, I would be able to see a difference of direction. And since then, I never looked back. And I'm celebrating 1.5 years out. Thank you for that. So far, if you like if you've been in this message for this long, I appreciate you for tuning in. Again, there's seeds for anybody to grow. I'm only here for the good intent of well-beings. So that question all of that fell under why I did set boundaries for myself this past year, and how I set boundaries. Let's get into it. Well, we all are able to pivot, so I abide by that knowing. We are able to move left, right, up, down, spin around whenever possible or necessary. Either I can make a decision there, or a decision over there, or a decision away from you. I observe my surroundings and premeditate and calculate, then disengage when necessary. I mean, think of it. When you remove yourself from the equation or circumstance or whatever situation you're dealing with, just removing yourself alone it becomes non-existent. And I mean really removing yourself, removing the thought of it, allowing it to linger in your energy. When you remove it, it's non-existent, therefore being in your favor. Knowing you move the way you want to. So whenever, these days I move so well with setting my boundaries. It's become a natural adaptation for me. If there's any time I feel least resistant on the decision making, or I'm in a atmosphere of many people and something's not sitting right with me, or if it's sitting right with me, I stay. But if it's not sitting right with me, I pre-calculate my own decisions and I make my moves in my best serving. And in conclusion, we all have things we would like to set boundaries on. I hope what I've shared will be for your understanding and you can apply it, because it can be done with us all. My formula has worked for me, and now I'm living my selective. I would suggest just practice at your own pace, and just know that your friends or whoever or whatever will stick around, whether you want to go at that time and moment or not. At least a real friend would stay. So just remember that. Trust me, I'm your local Earth Angel, Jenny June. I hope and pray and always wish you a better day. Peace up. My love to you, Jenny June.